Hey yo, hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing another Star Wars review, and that will be of the Dark Empire trilogy. This will consist of Dark Empire, take a look at that comic cover right there. It's going to also consist of Dark Empire 2, take a look at that comic cover right here. And also I have the two individual issues for Empire's End. I bought these off my friend. I know you can get Empire's End in trade paperback, but it's impossible to find. And in addition to that, I know they re-released Dark Empire 2 with Empire's End included with it. I did not get that trade paperback. I got this on a 50% off sale at my comic store, so I kind of just went with the flow. I didn't know Empire's End was going to be that hard to find. So with that said, let's start things off with Dark Empire. Now, Dark Empire takes place after the Thrawn trilogy. And it takes place, I want to say, 2 to 3 years afterwards. Now, in Dark Empire, the Empire has come back full force and is strong again. Now, you got to remember, in the Thrawn trilogy, Thrawn was doing the best he can to hold the Empire together. He was really doing a magnificent job, too. But in reality, the Empire was just falling apart. However, in Dark Empires, they have got their second wind and have become more powerful than they were beforehand. And by doing so, they have unleashed the world devastators on unsuspecting planets. See, the world devastators are more terrible than the Death Star. And what they are the machines that are planted on the planet, and they suck out the natural resources of the planet. And in doing so, they convert those natural resources into stuff that the Empire can use, like metals and fuels. But at the same time, they actually destroy the planet too. And they are virtually indestructible. The Rebel Alliance cannot take down these world devastators. So the Rebel Alliance are basically fucked. They cannot take these world devastators down, and they are attacking all the Rebel planets, starting off with Mon Calamari, I think. So, with that said, Luke Skywalker embarks on a very, very dark journey to find out exactly how the Empire has become so powerful again. And he finds out that the Emperor has returned. Yes, the Emperor. See, the thing is that the Emperor has been using cloning technologies and the ability to transfer his spirit, his core consciousness, into clones. See, the Emperor is so powerful with the dark side that his body cannot sustain it. This is why he always looks all screwed up and wrinkly, like some guy fist fucked him for like 5 hours in his face. I mean, he's just screwed up, and that's because the Force just degenerates his face, so his whole body. So every once in a while, he needs to get into a new body, a clone body of himself. This is how he stays alive. Luke Skywalker goes on a very dangerous and dark mission to take out the Empire, and by doing so, he joins the dark side. Now wait, don't jump to conclusions. He doesn't actually join the dark side. What Luke Skywalker does is he tries to destroy the dark side from within. He joins the Emperor, and in doing so, he learns all the secrets of the dark side. And he also finds the command codes for the world devastators and gives it to R2-D2, who then gives it to the Rebel Alliance in order, in a way, to defeat the world devastators. The problem with this is everyone thinks Luke is a traitor. See, Leia, Han in particular, aren't trusting Luke at all. Not one bit. Leia is in particularly concerned because she has become a Jedi Knight and she has become powerful with the Force. So, she's very concerned for her brother. What you gotta understand is the dark side in this is portrayed kind of like a drug, in that when you're around it, it consumes you, and it's almost addictive. Luke Skywalker is very aware that he's in the dark side. He's actually aware that it's consuming him. He has the awareness that it's happening, that he actually asks for help for it not to consume him. In the end, Luke Skywalker is able to overthrow the Emperor, defeat him in combat, and with Leia and her unborn child, take the Emperor down. Or so we think. Because there's obviously 2 sequels. Dark Empire 2. Well, in Dark Empire 2, the story continues, kind of. Dark Empire 2 is a lot about Luke Skywalker trying to rebuild the Jedi Order. And that is probably the biggest good thing about Empire 2. Dark Empire 2, it really handles with him going and traveling and trying to find old Jedi archives and Jedi information and books, and using the Emperor's hologram projector to learn everything there is about the Jedi Order from the past to create a better Jedi Order. This kind of fills in all the gaps Luke has been having since he became a Jedi. All the stuff Yoda and Obi-Wan wasn't able to teach him in the time that they had. In addition to this, I guess Luke didn't kill all the clone bodies and the Emperor still had a few left. In addition to that, the Emperor also creates a new devastating weapon, and that would be the Galaxy Gun. Yeah, it kind of sounds corny, doesn't it? The Galaxy Gun is a big station which shoots a missile through light speed and can hit any target and destroy it. A planet, a city, anything. I should have probably said city then planet, because, you know, planets are bigger, but it's basically as devastating as the Death Star, but, you know, it can stay stationary and doesn't have to move. So he has this new super weapon, the Galaxy Gun, and he uses it on the Rebel home base. So now the Empire has regained the control that they had in the beginning of Dark Empire, and Luke has to go and deal with the Emperor, while still trying to restore the Jedi Order. With that said, we move on to Empire's End. This 2-issue story arc tries to tie up all the loose ends that are created in Dark Empire 2. In this, the Emperor is really losing his grip on his new clone body. He has none left, and he decides to enter the body of Anakin Solo, the unborn child, the newly born child of Princess Leia. It's up to Luke, Leia, and Han to stop the Empire, along with the rest of the Rebel Alliance, to take out the Galaxy Gun. So really, the Rebel Alliance have to deal with the Emperor, and the Galaxy Gun, which are the two biggest major threats in these stories. I don't want to give too much away about the ending, although I'm sure if you could probably figure it out. But with that said, let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. The thing is I have a lot of good to say and a lot of bad to say about this. So I'm going to take them each by each. Dark Empire. Dark Empire is a really great story. I definitely give it an A-. It's really fun. I like the portrayal of Luke Skywalker, him going and trying to deal with the dark side from within, destroy the dark side from within, which is a very difficult task. And it just shows how skilled of a Jedi Luke is, because he's able to deal with the dark side, understand that the dark side is taking him over, and ask for help to defeat the dark side, because Leia helps him out eventually. So I like how Luke tries to deal with the dark side. Nice little fight scene between Luke and the Emperor, and Luke is able to defeat the Emperor in combat, which has only been done by one other person, that's Mace Windu. And even then, I think Mace Windu won, or the Emperor allowed him to win, so that Anakin would turn to the dark side. So good fight scene in that. I like the portrayal of the dark side, as it is kind of like a drug. The closer you are to it, the more it consumes you. I enjoyed the portrayal of Leia also. I think Leia was really steps it up a notch, because in the Thrawn trilogy, I didn't like how she was portrayed. Probably because that's when her start to becoming a Jedi was. However, in this she was portrayed very nicely, and I really like it. You also got a feeling of desperation and despair in this, because the Empire is basically fucking up the Rebel Alliance. So on the whole, Dark Empire is good. Great portrayal of Luke, great portrayal of Leia, good portrayal of the dark side, great atmosphere, and the Emperor coming back, superb. Beautiful. And then they have to go and ruin it all by doing something stupid and make a sequel. Yeah. Dark Empire 2. Dark Empire 2 is definitely not the worst comic, but it's definitely not worth being made. The good things about this is I liked how Luke was trying to restore the Jedi Order, and I think it was very nicely handled in him doing that. The writing was okay, too, but the Emperor returned. It would have been better if the Emperor just stayed dead in this, and some new threat came up, if you really wanted to make a sequel. In addition to that, a lot of nothing happened. It wasn't so much it was bad, it just nothing really happened. Other than Luke going around trying to rebuild the Jedi Order, the only thing that really happened is at the end, when the Emperor unleashed the devastating effects of the Galaxy Gun. And even in that, the Galaxy Gun is kind of a stupid thing. You know, how many super weapons can you have for the Empire? I mean, it was great in the Thrawn trilogy because Grand Admiral Thrawn's mind was the super weapon. But I mean, the Death Star, the World Devastator, the Galaxy Gun, the Sun Crusher. How many fucking weapons do you need that can destroy anything in one hit? It kind of gets repetitive over time. On the whole, I would give this a C. It really wasn't necessary, although there was a few enjoyable parts. It really wasn't that good. A C at best. Empire's End. Empire's End was just atrocious. The art in Empire, Dark Empire 1 and Dark Empire 2 were The art in this is just horrible to look at. It is just disgusting to look at. Nothing against the artist, but he doesn't even portray any of the characters to look like themselves. The story's just horrible. They try to wrap everything up at the end. Just bad. The Emperor is turned into a joke in this. The Emperor was a badass, and then when I started reading these two, he just turns into a joke because he's overused. In this, he's just you laugh at him on how ridiculous he is. This is horrible. This gets an F. This is really bad. This is, I dare say, worse than the prequels. You guys know how much I don't like the prequels. So with that said, on a whole, the Dark Empire series itself, I have to give a C. You know what? I'll bump it up to a C+. Really, these things weren't necessary. If it was just Dark Empire itself, it would have been fantastic. But see, this was one of the first comics that were released for Star Wars in the 90s, so they kind of just wanted to continue with the success and, try to make more money, and it really didn't work out that well. In addition to that, in comparing it to the Thrawn trilogy, it just doesn't live up to it at all. There's a lot of characters that are introduced in this, like Han Solo's ex-girlfriend, the guy she works with, and all these characters, and none of them you really have any love or would really care about. Where in the Thrawn trilogy, you get Mara Jade, Talon Karrde, you get all these cool characters in here that transcend past the trilogy, and they're just fun, and you really care about them. This really just did a horrible job with characters. So on a whole, I would have actually liked it better if these didn't exist and it was just Dark Empire. If they really wanted to do a trilogy, I would have had Dark Empire at the end and built up to it and just have one battle with the Emperor. But, Star Wars has its hits and its misses. On a whole, if you're going to pick this up, I recommend not. I would recommend only picking up Dark Empire. This is a great book. Don't get me wrong. Despite the bad I have to say about these two, and there's a lot of bad to say, Dark Empire is a good book. It's definitely worth picking up, and I would recommend picking this up alone. Only this. Listen to me. Only this. Avoid these. They're not worth it. It's a waste of your money. It's really... Only the hardcore Star Wars fans would go out of their way for this, because only them would put themselves through that much torture. They're not worth it. But I recommend picking this up, Dark Empire. So A, definitely A-, C, F. On a whole, the series, I give a C+. Not worth picking up the whole thing, just go for Dark Empire itself. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. It just went on a little bit longer than I wanted, but this is Andrew saying, peace out for now.